Howdy, kids. So, I am re-releasing the arm wrestling math between Oleg and Nugo. I had a mistake on the slides of the previous video, and it was pointed out in the comments. Quite humorously, it was pointed out multiple times. So, I think a lot of you leave comments, but don't actually read them. So, after it got bad enough, and I was in the comments. I apologized to Nugo over it, but then he actually commented himself. Well, at least an account with his name on it commented that it needed to be changed. So I deleted the video, and so here we are. We are re-releasing it, recreating it. So we did the individual stats. I can't really remember the script from the last video, so I'm going to cover the results, but in a different way. So we did the individual stats for both Oleg and Nugo. And now we're basically comparing them. Right off the bat, we'll go with strategy. We'll do a bottom-up analysis. Oleg, his wins are 11 pins, 3 fouls, and his losses are 4-4. Nugo was 11-0, 3-1. No big real advantage there. Neither one of these guys foul out, which means you really couldn't adopt a strategy to pressure them into fouling out. Excuse me, technical difficulties here. Speed, I'm giving it to Nugo. He wins ready goes 13 times, lost 7, tied 7. Oleg was 23-4 out of 20. 25 are undecided, so he's winning less than half of those. Or Nugo is winning way more of them. I think he's definitely the faster one. This does have to do with who you pull, but we're in the neophyte stages of these statistics. Endurance, couldn't really tell. Neither guy looks like to get into endurance trouble, so that's going to be a wash. Power. Nugo is definitely the more powerful of the two, right? 8 flash pins, never been flash pinned. Whereas Oleg has only got 4 flash pins, has been flash pinned 4 times. Oleg is the more strategic, thinking arm wrestler, and Nugo's more the goes off like dynamite. Technique. Oleg's quite versatile, top roll, hook press. Don't really see any king's moves over on the on the arm wrestlers that are not from America or Canada. Nugo, top roll hook. So haven't seen a press from him, and going from a hook to a press is pretty rare. Now I can't really remember if that's what Oleg did. Most people will top roll into a press. Once they're in a hook, they stay in a hook. But I'd have to go back and re-review the Oleg video. Anyways, Oleg wins technique. Oleg wins history. Nugo beat some good people. Rob Vidgett Jr., Matt Mask. I actually wasn't really expecting him to beat Matt Mask. Matt Mask's explosive top roll I thought was going to beat Nugo. Nugo came through there. That was impressive. But Oleg's beat Dadikin and Angerbayev. I think both of these guys would beat both of these guys, and I think Oleg beats all of these people pretty decidedly. So, when we do the stats, we start off with it being equal, a 1-to-1, and then these are the only odds I consider. I consider up to a 2.1 plus. All right, I rank these things. History to me is the most important. Strategy is the least important. They're not weighted equally, and the weighting, the points for each of these categories can be divided between the two pullers. So I think Oleg has a greater than 2-to-1 chance of winning. Now, like we cover a lot, most of these super matches are blowouts, so I'm not saying he's going to win like 5-1 or 6-0, but he's got over a 2-to-1 chance to that should be a colon. See how that's a colon there, and that's a what the Hutchins. Jeez, here I go and correct it, and then I missed that. Oh wow, I wonder how many other slides have that mistake. Oh, the other thing, Oleg's the champ. He's the 105 champ. Uh, Nugo, he's just a wild card. Who knows? He might pull it out, but my gut feeling is um, I would take 2-to-1 odds and bet on Oleg. Okay, so trying to make these videos 8 minutes long for reasons to do with the marketplace and monetization and that sort of thing. Um, this is not what I wanted to cover this. So I've been covering arm wrestling in literature, and this is actually the second arm wrestling in literature bit I've done, but it's coming out first because of the mistake I made redoing this movie. This is a story from 2018 by Terry White. Terry White lives in a northeastern Ohio town not too far from where Dave Chafee lives. And this story, The Gypsy Arm Wrestler, takes place in that town on Lake Erie. You know what? I've seen arm wrestler and arm wrestling spelled 3 different ways. 1 word, 2 words, 2 words with a hyphen. We should probably look into that at some time. Anyways, this story revolves around Risa Sari. She is the gypsy arm wrestler. She's described as a translucent blonde with wheat blonde hair. I haven't seen a whole lot of gypsies. I've never seen a blonde gypsy. But I guess in this day and age where most angry ladies are run around with purple hair, I guess a blonde gypsy's not too surprising. Although, I guess I'm not really sure we're supposed to be calling them gypsies anymore. For some reason, I got a feeling gypsy should come with a trigger warning. So maybe we should stop. I don't know what to call them. It gets worse than this because Risa, she's the gypsy arm wrestler in the sideshow of like the county fair. So anyways, the protagonist is a 13-year-old boy, 13-year-old football player who him and his buddies always watch Risa at the freak show, and she'll arm wrestle anybody that shows up, and she never loses. She beats all the men in town, great big railroad workers, great big miners. She never loses. She's not a particularly large woman, but it's a female. I'm guessing she's like in her 30s, beats all the men. So our protagonist gets his chance. He goes to her tent one time when the show's not happening, and she's there, and the protagonist finds himself alone with this striking gypsy woman, and he finally gets his dream come true. What every 13-year-old boy's been dreaming of when they get alone with a woman. He arm wrestles her. He arm wrestles her. That is where I'm going to leave it. The arm wrestling match actually occurred in a flashback, and I'm just going to let you know that one arm wrestling match between the 13-year-old boy and Risa Sari affected him for the whole rest of his life, physically and mentally. So, if you're interested, check it out. It's on Kajabil. Here's the website. Actually, just type this in. Just type in the Gypsy Arm Wrestler or Terry White. You'll find the story. Okay, kids, time to wrap things up. Remember, as always, give your mama a call. And if you're not able to do that, find somebody, tell them you love them. And don't forget to do your JM presses. The number one thing in your JM presses, do not put the thumb opposite your fingers. The thumb, it's a false grip. The thumb goes on the same side of the bar as your fingers do. As JM presses get popular in the arm wrestling community, people doing them incorrectly is becoming very popular in the arm wrestling community. Thanks, kids. See you next time.